Okay. So in this video, I'm going to go over a problem of some of your homework. We're looking at the on-chain stablecoin, similar to like the DAI token. That's what we're looking at here. All right. Here it's backed up. You can see it on the blockchain. It's backed up by Ethereum here, right? And they use that along with what we call these collateralized debt positions. And they use the stable fee to try to regulate this. They try to keep these DAI tokens, pegged at $1. All right, so just like before, we're going to use the same supply and demand equation. Supply will be 260p minus 60. Demand will be 300 minus 100p. And what we're going to do this time, we're going to say demand decreases to QD2, or it's going to be 220 minus 100p. All right. So we went from 300 minus 100p to 220 minus 100p. So we had demand decrease for whatever reason. All right, so we want to find the price now, and we want to find the new equilibrium quantity. So to find the price, we set the new demand equation equal to supply. All right, so what's that going to be? That's going to be 220 minus 100p equals 260p minus 60. So we're going to add 60 to both sides and add 100p to both sides. When we add 60 to both sides, eliminates it on there, makes this to be 280. When we add 100p to both sides, that eliminates this and adds 100p to 260, so we have 360p. So the price is going to be 280 over 360, and that's going to give you approximately 78 cents. That's the new price. What's the quantity? We can plug that in the supply equation. 260 times the price is 78 cents minus 60. That's going to give us 143. Okay. All right. So this demand decreases. That means people aren't wanting to buy these tokens as much. So they're going to drop the price of people that want to sell them. So the price falls to 78 cents below the peg, and the current quantities drop into 143. Okay. And we'll go to our next part. We'll erase this first. All right. What do we do in part B? What does supply need to increase or decrease to get the peg back to $1? All right. What do they need to decrease? I need to take tokens out, because they're not selling what they need to. We need to take them, decrease the supply, that way the price can go back up to $1. So these DAI tokens need to be burned. And the way they're burned is when people pay back these loans they take out with them. They pay them back to these collateralized debt positions, and then they'll burn them and take them out of the money supply. All right. So they're being burned. Now we need to determine how many of them need to be burned here. Okay. So we'll stick our use our new demand equation, QD2. We'll stick this here, 220 minus 100. We want this to be $1, so to equal to 1, the price. Now we want to determine our new supply equation. We know it's 260p and the price is 1, but we don't know what this term is going to be. This is what we need to determine. And when we determine that, we can see the difference, and that'll give us the change in quantity. All right. So this will be 120, 220 minus 100, 260 minus excess. All right, so we'll add excess to both sides, subtract 120. When you do that, you'll get excess equals to 140. All right, so our new supply equation is 260p minus 140. So we went from negative 60 to minus 140. So you want to increase supply, decrease supply by 80. Because it went from a negative 60 to a negative 140, so it means we have a decreased supply by 80. So 80 DAI tokens need to be burned, removed from the supply. And the way that happens is when people pay back these collateralized debt positions, they pay it back to these smart contracts, and then these tokens will just be burned, they'll disappear, taken from the money supply. All right. Next. So the DAI token is having trouble returning to peg. This is something kind of unique, a little bit different from the algorithmic. If it's having trouble returning to the peg, should the stability fee increase or decrease? All right, so the stability fee is something that can provide an incentive to make people, either increase paying back their loan quicker or more likely to take out loans and like increase supply here. So we need investors to, to pay back DAI tokens. Let's erase that. To pay back loans. When they pay back the loans, that'll burn them because they'll be taken from the money supply. And we also need to discourage new loans. That is, people taking out, providing this Ethereum, creating this collateralized debt position, and they can take out a loan for DAI tokens. When they take out this loan, that's when they're created or minted. We don't want new ones to be minted, and we want people to hurry back and pay back their loans. All right, so they can burn them and take them out. And what can provide incentive to do this? If you use the stability fee, well, if you increase the stability fee, it's more costly now to keep this loan out, so you're going to be more likely to pay it back quicker. And with this higher fee, well, the borrowing costs have increased essentially, and so people are going to be less likely to take out a loan. All right, so increase in stability fee will decrease the supply quicker. It'll speed up this process if it's not happening quick enough. Okay. That's what's kind of unique about one of the things that's unique about this. So they have this stability fee. It's kind of neat little incentive they have, like that they use for the monetary policy to kind of get control the supply of the tokens. All right. D, we want to find our new equilibrium quantity. And then once we do that, we can we'll draw a diagram showing that everything that's taken place so far. Okay, so what's our new quantity? We use our supply equation, our new one, 260p. We know it's going to be 1. That's where the price is going to be at now. Minus 140. Well, that's just going to give us 120. That's the new quantity of DAI tokens. Let's draw a diagram and talk about what's kind of go through each little step, what's going on. Here's the price of the DAI. Here's the quantity. Here's the supply. Here's the demand. We started off at $1. This is where they want this to be. Is everything was fine at first, and then we had this drop in demand. Okay, and we said there was 200 tokens in circulation. All right, well, what happens? Well, we had a fall in demand. For whatever reason, nobody's wanting to buy them as much as they were. Like demand dropped for whatever reason. Okay. Well, what did that cause? Well, that caused the price to fall. People are having a hard time selling their own DAI tokens now, so they're going to, sell them for a lower price. And we said it fell to 78 cents. All right. So the price falls to 78 cents. All right. Now, what do we need to happen now? Well, we need the supply to decrease of these tokens to get this price back up. Okay. Well, what I cause that is people can pay back their loans cheaper now. This provides incentive for these investors that have these loans. Well, they say, well, now I can buy these DAI tokens really cheap now, 78 cents each, and I can pay back these loans at a cheaper cost now. Right? And so, how many do they need to buy? Well, they need to buy 80 of them. They'll buy back 80 DAI tokens, and they can pay back their own loans, and that'll burn these tokens, and that'll decrease the supply. And essentially, when they're burned, they're just paying back loans to close their collateralized debt position. And that has the effect of decreasing supply. Right. So that shifts it back. What does that cause to happen? When supply shifts back, our price returns to $1 when it needs to be $4. All right. Turns to $1. What else? Well, our equilibrium quantity decreased. We said it decreased to 120. So that's 5. Quantity decreases to 120. Okay. So the demand decreased for whatever reason. People wanted to buy them. People had to like drop the price in order to sell them. And so the demand decreases, leads to the price dropping. People trying to get rid of them. That's to sell for a cheaper price. Well, this kicks in the fact that, well, now people, okay, well, I have to pay back this loan. You know, I can pay it back cheaper now. I can buy these DAI tokens for only 78 cents. So they buy these DAI tokens cheaper here. And then, you know, you need 80 of them to be paid back or burned. And this will decrease the supply enough to get the price to drop, to rise back up to $1. Okay. And then once it does that, there's going to be 80 less tokens. There's only going to be 120 in supply now. Okay. So that's it for D. E wants us to find the total profit. So let's erase this. Okay. Well, what's the profit here? Well, these entrepreneurs, when they're paying back their loans, they can pay them back cheaper now. So what's the profit going to be? Well, paying back this $80 loan they got to use $80 worth of these DAI tokens when they took out this loan. So they got to use that was a revenue, whatever they bought with that, was revenue they had. And what is the cost? Well, now they're paying it back, but they're only having to, you know, pay 78 cents for each one of these 80 tokens they borrowed. They're originally worth $1. They got to use them when they were worth $1 to buy either, you know, other cryptocurrency or something along those lines. You know, it could be Bitcoin, or some other, you know, hot new cryptocurrency. But now they're paying it back. You know, they can get these coins for 78 cents each. So to get the total profit here, 80 times 78, that's 62.40. And so the total profit is going to be $17.60. Okay. All right. And the reason they made profit here, because they got to use $80 worth of tokens when they're paying them back. It's only cost them $64.40 now because the price dropped. So they profited $17.60. All right. Now, what is the next question? Is this presenting issues for the DAI stablecoins in regard to maintaining the pay? No, this doesn't really have anything to do. It's different than algorithm. It's not to do with whether the price falls below it or above it. It has to do with Ethereum. And if Ethereum drops real sharply. All right, that's the worry here. If Ethereum drops real sharply, you know, it's going to call all these loans, you know, to be liquidated. And then they may have trouble paying them back. They may not be able to raise enough DAI tokens, and then they'd have to issue out bonds. And the worry there is if it drops too much, some people, they know this is backed by Ethereum, and there's not enough of it. You know, people may not be willing to buy these bonds. That's where the real trouble. I'll make another video kind of going over this aspect. But for this question, you know, it has nothing to do with the this mechanism of getting to go up and down. It has to do all to do with the price of Ethereum. That's what it's backed by. And the trouble is, and this is why, this goes into the next part. If 500 DAI tokens are borrowed, how much Ethereum or Ether needs to be put down as collateral? Well, it needs to at least be 150%. So the amount of Ether will be 500 times 1.5, 750. So $750 worth of Ether. And that's how they deal with this volatility. They make you like put up more than what you're actually taking out of borrowing. But crypto is very volatile. Even though Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't quite as volatile as some of these other ones. But that's the worry. Like you have this massive drop in one day, and that could maybe cause an issue for being able to take these tokens out. Like for people not, they lose so much trust in them, they may not want to buy these bonds that they issue. Like whenever these collateralized debt positions sometimes go bankrupt and they have to issue bonds for them. So that's the real worry. I'll make a video kind of going a little more detail on that. But as far as the problems here, no, this doesn't cause an issue. It has to do with Ethereum, the value of it. That's what causes, the problem for this. And as far as how much Ether needs to be put down to be able to borrow 500 DAI tokens, we just take that. This is $500 worth of DAI tokens. Multiply by 150%, which is 1.5, and that's going to give you, $750 worth of Ethereum. All right. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hope this helps.